Hey guys, before this one take, I just want to take a minute to talk to you about AutoTempest.com. They've been a sponsor for a while, but even before that, we were using them to look through classified ads for cars because it makes searching so much easier than going to each site and typing in the same information over and over and over and over again. When I was looking for 240s and M3s, I got really sick of going to each site and typing in the make and the model and the transmission, and hitting enter and going to the next one and the next one. You don't have to do that with AutoTempest.com. It's so great. You just go to AutoTempest.com, you type in all the information, you hit search, and it brings up all the listings from all the most popular car classified sites to one page. It's great, and I am frankly surprised that more of you don't know it exists. Think of it like one of those bad dating shows where they put all the people in a cabin and they lock the door and they make them fight over roses, okay? In this case, the cars are the people, the producers are AutoTempest.com. They push them all to you, and then you decide which one you're going to marry for a while until, like, the fame and fortune runs out, or reliability becomes an issue, or depreciation. This analogy got weird. AutoTempest lets you find and compare cars from AutoTrader, eBay Motors, and all of Craigslist. Lastly, AutoTempest is completely free to use, which is why I like it, but they need word of mouth to grow. So if you like it and you know someone is looking for a car, tell them to check it out. It helps them out, it saves them a ton of time, and it's a great resource. Now, enjoy this one take.
Good morning, everyone, and welcome to Malibu on a beautiful day. The first time I've been up in these hills since the horrible fires we had a couple weeks ago. A lot of these roads were closed, and they're just reopened. So we're going to do a little exploration in the new Hyundai. Don't call it a Hyundai. Don't call it a Hyundai. This is a Genesis G70 3.3T. It's not a Hyundai. In fact, I tagged Hyundai in my first Instagram post about this car, and I got a little note. They weren't exactly mad, but they were like, hey, can you tag Genesis and not Hyundai? So, you know, this is the Lexusification, if you will, of Hyundai. Of course, those of us who have been looking at the car world for the last 3 years have realized they did bungle the process a little bit, because first there was the Hyundai Genesis sedan and then the Hyundai Genesis Coupe, and now they've dropped the Hyundai and Genesis is its own thing. It doesn't say Hyundai on this car anywhere. It's only Genesis. So this is the Genesis G70 3.3 turbo. That's a twin turbo V6. It's the bigger of the two engine options. You can also get a 2.0T 4-cylinder with an optional manual. I'm sure they'll sell about 5 of those, but it's nice to know they make them. I've been driving this thing for a week. First off, this is a really nice car. I'm not blowing smoke up anybody's ass. This is a really, really nice car. It's $50,000, fully loaded. This thing has every option, but considering what I know you get from the Germans for 50 grand, which frankly is a lot less than you think you get, especially if you're talking about a fully loaded car, this is a super, super nice car. The styling is conservative, but it looks really nice. The boomerangs on the side maybe could go, but overall the styling is derivative, but it looks good. It's attractive. It when parked in a row of cars, it looks really nice. The interior is assembled really well. The materials are really good. This quilted Bentley esque fabric is really, really nice. It's leather, not obviously quite as soft and rich as you'd get with a Bentley, but it's really nice. And let's talk about driving while driving. So it has an 8-speed automatic gearbox. Not sure who makes it, but it is good. Oh, full surround sound, full surround parking cameras, which are really nice. Okay. On the road, off the bat, pretty impressive. The 3.3 liter 6 has 365 horsepower and 376 pound-feet of torque, which is very, very good. That torque comes on at 1,300 RPM, very low, and the torque curve is flat to 4,500. So in your daily driving, usable horsepower range, it's a lot of torque in a pretty wide power band. The engine also, that's whatever's down here is not making me happy. Sorry, I don't want you guys listening to things flopping around. The engine's also very smooth, especially in the lower half of the power band. Typically, V6s are kind of gruff and rough. They have this frequency that's like a grumble, and not really in a good way. I apologize for this back and forth. Hold on. We're gonna take this, and we're gonna put it in the hat. We're gonna put it all in the hat. Hopefully that makes things better. What was that? Gruff and rough, right. This 3.3, especially in the lower half of the power band, is really smooth, almost like an inline six. The higher you rev it, the more those V6 sounds seem to eke their way out a little bit, but it's nothing like, a VQ engine or anything like that. It's really quite slick. The power is very linear. Now, just shove it right next to me here. This is for you. I'm sorry. I can live with it, but I know you don't want to. So, power is linear. It weighs 3,874 pounds, and so it's a little hefty. Oh no! Was that really just my bar? Come on! I can't win today, can I? What is that? Nothing else to slide around. What else could be sliding around? There's nothing here to slide around. What is that? I'm sorry. There's a mystery something sliding around. 3,874 pounds. I don't know. It's a disaster today, I guess. So it's a little hefty, but it masks it pretty well. It's got very direct steering. It's well weighted. The suspension does have adaptive shocks, but what I like about the shocks is that the spread isn't too wide. Soft isn't too soft, and firm isn't too firm. We're actually in comfort right now. We're gonna go into sport. There we go. And even in sport mode, it's not abusive or anything like that. It's good. All right, pause, because whatever's sliding around is driving me nuts and I can't figure it out. Is there another level of what would be sliding around? I don't get it. There's nothing to move around in here. What the fuck? There's literally nothing. It's not that. What is it? I mean, maybe it's in the trunk. Okay. Backlock. I couldn't find whatever was sliding around. I don't know what it is. I'm sorry. It's just not my morning, I guess, for things sliding around. 3,800 pounds is hefty, but this car is about 6 inches shorter with 3 inches less wheelbase than its sibling, the Kia Stinger. So it is going to be a little more nimble than that and agile in these very tight corners. Speaking of The handling is really good, actually. I like the steering a lot. Brakes are good. 13.8-inch front discs, 13.4 rears. Functional. It's very fast, this car. Granted, we're going downhill, but still, it is quick. Glad this road is open again. So far, not much evidence over here of the fire. Although that doesn't mean there wasn't plenty burned. There was. Good balance. And yep, over the yumps, handling that well. Oh, okay, so here's what's going on. It's doing this funky brake vectoring thing. So in order to handle that 376 pounds of torque, it's brake vectoring the inside wheel exiting these corners. And I was told that with traction control turned off, which I've just done, it doesn't do that anymore. Manual mode in the gearbox is very responsive, at least as good as the ZF 8-speed, but without much hiccuping in the middle. Oh, took that pretty well, actually. I don't know what that is. I literally cannot find whatever's sliding back and forth. It is missing. There's a ghost in the armrest. Whee! Those brakes are holding up well. It's a good, fun car. This is the weirdest thing. Is there a 2-stage armrest I don't know about? It's not that. What else would be sliding around? Oh. Sorry. It makes a pleasant sound. It's quiet, refined. I wouldn't call it aggressive by any means, but it stays out of the way when you want it to stay out of the way. It doesn't have any ugly tones. Generic at worst, pleasant at best. Pilot Sport 4S tires, which is good. Nice progressive grip and 3 seasons for that. It's a little damp on this side of the hill, isn't it? Overall, this car is very nimble. The steering, I think, is better than what Audi is doing right now, and probably on par with the non-M BMWs. It feels good. It's got good weight. The wheel itself feels nice. When you put it into manual mode, it stays there. For instance, wow, that was me. If I bang the rev limiter, stays on the rev limiter. Will not upshift in manual mode unless you tell it to. That is good. Well, the good news is Payuma seems to have been saved from the fires. I like this thing. You can really kick the crap out of this engine. It's very happy. The engine needle is actually in the coolant temperature needle is actually in the colder half of the engine right now. I really like the wide torque band. It really gives you the impression of longer gears. Although, you know, remember we were out here with the Lexus GS350 F Sport with that V8. Second gear was good for like 70 something miles an hour. On this, second gear is good for about 58, which is that's kind of a little better for me. Yes, it's a bit more shifting, but it's more, I don't know, appropriate. And considering this has a few less revs than that V8, and it's got that turbo, you know, small turbo, big torque to work with, that's good. I like this car. This is a really, really nice car. The real struggle is going to be, will anybody buy it? because nice rimmed out Prius, because all week people have been like, oh, that's nice. Like, what is that? Hannah got into it last night. I picked her up at the airport, and we were halfway home before she was like, what is this thing? It's like, you know, to develop that brand recognition is very, very difficult. And so, you know, Lexus did it by just smashing the LS400 out of the park, by spending so much money and building something so radical that people could not ignore it. And I would equate that to almost what Tesla is doing. They went a different way. You know, they went on a build quality thing as opposed to an overload of technology. But I would say that, you know, that Lexus built that brand recognition by turning out a vehicle that was like, oh my God, can't ignore it. What is this? This car is more subtle. It's a really nice car. It's really well put together. It drives really well. You might even say it does a lot of these things better than the Germans. The multimedia system is really good. It's got big buttons for your home screen, or I'm sorry, big buttons for the major functions, and then a touch screen that's pretty responsive. But it's got, you know, the knobs and stuff for scrolling. It has all the good stuff: heads-up display, surround cameras, heated and cooled seats, bunch of USB ports, like all this good stuff. But they're also going to have to sell it a little bit, because at $50,000, you know, people want a brand recognition, and this doesn't really have that yet. So I hope folks like me, oh, are those my brakes? No, not my brakes. I hope, you know, folks like me can spread the word about how nice these cars are, because they are really nice, and I hope folks buy them. I hope enough people buy them that they're going to stick around for a while. So thank you for watching. Go to our store, TheSmokingTire.com, and check out the store tab. That'll going to take you to our new Blip Shift store, and we have our fire charity shirt. It's for the California Fire Foundation through December 9th. We're selling this shirt. All the proceeds go to the California Fire Foundation. It's a beautiful shirt, and thanks for watching, and I'll see you later. Bye. What the fuck? Was flopping back and forth.